Hey folks, this is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club on Tuesday, and this is March 26th and start of our recording games from the Tuesday night marathon, and with commentary by me and other strange chess players that you might encounter at the Mechanics Chess Club. Very interesting people. We're the oldest chess club in the United States, and we're entitled to be as crazy as we want to be. And I've been given a note that tells me not to wipe my nose. I actually thought of that already. Okay. So this is the second round of the Spring Tuesday Night Marathon. The Tuesday Night Marathon is a tournament that started way back, I believe, in 1972 by the club's director at the time, Two Gun Conway. Happened to be the chess director right at the Fisher boom. It was the most amazing thing. I joined the chess club as part of the Fisher boom in 1972, and Raymond Conway was organizing chess tournaments. So this is the umpteenth reincarnation of that those beginning early Tuesday night marathons. Right now we have the most modern version imaginable. This is the Spring Tuesday night marathon tournament. For the first time ever, it's in 3 seconds. This is the largest weekly chess tournament held in the United States. By weekly, we mean one game a year, one game a week, and one game a year is a format we've yet to try. This tournament's in 3 sections with Abel Talamentes, our new director, instigating this format change. Top section is 2,000 and above, and it's headed by Grandmaster Patrick Wolf. And he played a brilliant game in the first round, defeating his opponent, Stephen Gaffigan. We have 15 title players, some of whose names I can't pronounce, so I won't even try. The second ranked player is, by rating, I think, is Kyron Griffith, who's a FIDE master, and
Josiah Stearman.
Oh, Josiah Stearman. Okay, Josiah Stearman is also a FIDE master, and we have an international master, Elliot Winslow, playing, and I want to introduce the director of the club and my boss, Abel Talamentes. He can pronounce the one grandmaster name who's playing in the
that'd be, let me get in there. That'd be,
Hi, Abel.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? That would be women grandmaster Carla Heredia. She has a bye for the first 2 rounds, but she will be joining in starting next week.
And we have another woman grand international master, correct?
FIDE master.
FIDE master.
So that would be Mugi Segmed, and she joined this week. She took a bye last week, and she's playing currently right now.
And we're going to take a look at these games in a minute. Is there any other players of note that I have? There's the usual scoundrels.
The usual suspects are all here.
Suspects.
Ezra Chambers is playing. He's in action today. He actually just came back from IM Norm Invitational in Charlotte. Eric Lee, the country's top-ranked 11-year-old, he's playing. And Derek O'Connor. Yeah, just a lot. Just a solid field. I mean, it's just
FIDE
filled.
master Andy Lee.
Yeah. He took a bye this week and next week actually, and then he'll be back in action round 4.
And pretty soon we hope to get the ghosts of some of our great players playing in here. We've had Capablanca play at this club. We've had Bobby Fischer give a simul here. We've had Boris Bosky give a simul here. Smyslov gave a simul here. Every world champion decided to come and pay us a visit until Kasparov. Yeah, we have Karpov here, but Kasparov so far has been too chicken, and
we're
so
missing one. We're missing one world champion, the current world champion. Where is he?
yeah. Well, I'm getting to him in a moment. It's been Kasparov. He's been too chicken to play at the Mechanics Institute, and then Kramnik never came to the club. I mean, what are we, chopped liver? And then the rest of them, I don't know, Anand, he hasn't been here, and Carlson. So the challenge is here. We've got some, I've got to tell you, Boris Spassky gave a simul here, and our players roughed him up bad. And
Some of our players, they took some games from Bobby Fischer also during his time.
I'm not sure about the Fisher thing. We'll have to talk to our past tournament director of the club and main tournament director here, International Master John Donaldson, who knows everything about the historical aspect of Mechanics Institute. Very obscure stuff, wonderful stuff. Can be found in our past newsletters. He's written more than 15 books, I think, on history of chess. You can come to the Mechanics Institute and talk to us and read about our history here. We're in a historic room right now where some of the great players who've played here, Tal played here. Contemporary players that grew up in the club, Sam Shanklin, Daniel Naroditsky, great players, great grandmasters, and the list goes on. Not me, though. I just got to FIDE master. There's another grandmaster here whose name you'll probably hear over and over again, and who will sit here hopefully with me and get some baloney going, and that's Nick DeFermian. Grandmaster Nick DeFermian works at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club and is a daily presence here looking at chess problems and just stunning us with his genius. So I am going to look at a game here from round 2. It started already. It's Jason Childress, who is an expert chess player. We have him, and he's playing Patrick Wolf, two-time U.S. chess champion who has come out of retirement to participate in the Tuesday night marathon. And Patrick is, I'm just going to run through this opening pretty quickly. Actually, I'm in no hurry here. So this is a perk defense. And Jason Childress is playing, a standard setup, and Black is also playing a standard setup, a modern defense. Good system of development by White and very flexible by Black. White's not trying to get way too much, which can be a problem in this opening where White just think, Black is playing like a moron playing these moves. I'm just going to punish him. And instead, White's taking a more even-handed approach. Black is achieving one of his main strategic goals, exchanging dark square bishops here. Getting space on the queen side. And this is where it stands right now. I believe, with even though we're not seeing a clock running, this, I think, is the position that Jason Childress is on move against Patrick Wolf. And I would say that there's still a kind of a dynamic equality. Black maybe has more play, possibly sticking a piece on d4, or, she's trying to break up the Yankees on the queen side, a4 and b4 maybe. But nothing too defined yet. Let's go take a look at some other games here. Youth. This is Stearman versus Kondakov. These are two very talented players. We have FIDE master Stearman. I think he's got an IM norm, if I'm not mistaken. And Adrian Kondakov, who is young and upcoming expert chess player, has had success on the international level, I think, right? At some youth tournaments.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an old guy. I'm finding it hard to keep track of these young whippersnappers, but if I do play them in a tournament, I can nail them. And actually, that's another story. I'll get to there eventually, of course. So Stearman and Kondakov are playing a slow, sort of a Gyoko piano. And this is kind of old man chess now. Looks like it, even though these guys are so young and brilliant. A lot of maneuvering going on.
And what is old man chess? Just solid, just basic?
Well, it's part of it is these openings that they're kind of imitating the opening of the top players. It's kind of a non-Carlsen look to this opening. It's like it's popular nowadays. These kind of things where nobody has any advantage to speak. Are you playing in one of the top boards?
No.
Okay.
Not good enough.
So more maneuvering. Another pair of pieces gets changed. White has some pressure. This black rook on a7 is, needs to get back into the game. White has some pressure. This is the moment where if white can do something fast, maybe along the lines of d4, he's going to have to strike while the iron is hot, because rook a8 and back to e8, and black is solid in center. I don't really see white achieving much unless he can go quickly. Okay. So let's move on to another game here. The third board, Derek O'Connor versus the expert Shapiro Ursias. I'm not sure who that is. He's new to the mechanics. And let's go quickly through the opening here. And Derek O'Connor is a not a FIDE master. He's a national master, but he's a strong 2350 plus player. Very experienced now. And so black is developing some pressure. This could go either way. Knight moves, and then I see black's knight moving to d8, or say to b8 to go back to d7, but then comes c4, and white's getting dynamic play. This is no, I think white's going to need to play c4, accept the g4 weakness, pawn weakness, but, black is undeveloped, and the dynamics of the position should work out fine for white, even if it's not going to be some kind of lasting huge advantage. All right, Conrado Diaz versus Mike Anderson. Let's go quickly through the opening again. Mike Anderson is a player who has achieved near mastery of the game at some point in the past. He slipped a bit in the ratings, but he can nail strong players as he did beating Elliot Winslow last round. Of all people, international master Elliot Winslow, Michael Anderson got him probably after suffering many, many losses. But now he's playing Conrado Diaz, who's a player I have a lot of respect for. Solid 2350 player. You know, just, and it's a Smith-Mora gambit. Now Larson, here's an interesting moment. In this position, I think somebody played knight f6, or maybe d3, or maybe d5 against Smith-Mora in the fried chicken tournament of 1972, I think, and Larson gave it a question mark. He said, pawn takes pawn, wins a pawn. So the Smith-Mora gambit is not considered a very serious opening at the strong level, and black is just considered to have won a pawn for some discomfiture. However, I must say I heard Nick DeFermian saying that he was thinking of using it, and it's one of those openings where if you don't know, the refutation, this could, you could get into trouble. So who knows? They haven't played many moves here,
Black's in trouble. Black is in trouble.
You think black's in trouble
No,
here?
black is better, I'm saying.
Oh.
Black is better.
Black is better. According to, I just want to say, I'm going to move the camera. No, I can't move the camera. I'm not moving the camera here. I'm going to move the camera over to Joe Tracy, who has been a member of the mechanics since the 1960s. And
1968.
1968. Well, that's in the 1960s. Right?
1967, actually.
Okay. So, I mean, this guy is one of the first. I was a kid when I met him at the chess club. He was one of my. I'm very lucky to be sitting here with
But I'm
this.
no good anymore.
Joe is a master chess player. His rating went to 2199.99.99, but very strong chess player. Mentor to me when I was a kid at the Mechanics Chess Club with my brother Jay Whitehead, who
67. 49.
Yeah, he was 49 when he
49.
passed
Yeah,
on.
49.
Passed on. Yeah. People.
I spit out the word.
He
but
was
that's
an international master, played in 2 U.S. championships, was the U.S. Junior Open and U.S. Junior Closed champion, and he won the Grand Prix one year. So he was no slouch of a chess player. Certainly better than I was. But here we are, Joe Tracy. We're looking at this game. So this is, Anderson, Diaz. It's still early. Tenzing Shaw, another strong player, but we've in the 2350 zone. He is black versus Guy Argo, who is a strong A player, I believe, or expert. And let's go to this French defense, and we're still kind of, black's nicely developed. So black needs to push that home if he can quickly with f6 and if he plays it the wrong way by playing c4 or something, you can see white developing a quick attack with h4. But f6, black goes f6 quickly. Anyway, we're probably still in book, not that I would know. Here's Sam Sloan versus Eric Yu. Now, that's made on the board, folks, except for Queen D5. This was actually a slaughter. We have a strong young master playing a player who he's experienced. He's been around the block a million times. He can nail a good player every once in a while, but Sam Sloan is no match for Eric Eric Lee.
He's old now, that's for sure.
Yeah, but old can be treacherous. But
He's old.
This is White just plays simply. Let's go back and move here because. Now here, Black could be a lot more conservative if he wanted. He could play D6 and Knight F6 or something like that. But I think goes wrong here by trying to. This is horrible. I mean, you can just tell that's not going to work out. You know, D6 instead of that, play D6 and Knight F6 or something like that. It's just. There's just this not gonna okay like
Wait a minute.
I mean White's playing like Paul Morphy here. You got all the pieces, and that's to get out of line of fire. White's nicely developed, and that's of course the correct decision. Black is just not going to be able to escape. This is that creates a nice weakness at F5. And that just has to win something. Yeah. Ugh. Sure. Elliot, are you on any of the top boards? No. So yeah, we're actually broadcasting live. So this is just a slaughter now.
You can't be in here.
No, he's not on the top. He's not on the top 10. So as long as he doesn't say anything.
Me too.
Elliot, come here and say a quick hello.
Hello.
Poke your,
he can.
yeah. Well, Joe and I are looking at it.
Is anybody watching?
So this is, we don't know. But we can archive it and keep recycling it. Yeah. There's Elliot's tummy with his coffee. He decided not to pull up a chair.
As he pulls up a chair.
Well, can you go on the other side? Okay, I'll take, all right, this is like, okay, we're squishing the camera around. And now the camera is on Elliot Winslow and me again.
Yours falsely.
It's probably gonna tip over.
Okay, is it Paul Whitehead versus who?
No, this is Eric Lee versus, this is just such a crush.
That's the end of that.
Triple F pawns.
Let's see,
Queen C6.
just the simplest
Oh no.
possible moves. Queen D5, cannot be played,
It's
yeah,
over.
it's over. All right, so now we're gonna go to, that's the fastest game. Let's quickly go down
Is
to,
that board 6? The game's over. You're not
Yeah.
at the table anymore.
right, okay, let's,
I can reset the position. Or should I leave it?
what? Oh, I've been just rank for a second. Well, I am.
What size is this? Or is this?
This is DGT, so,
Oh, okay.
well, we're just starting to get used to this. Cause like, I
Yeah.
mean, this is like, there's Paul and Elliot, I mean,
Can I reset the position?
and I won't stick my tongue out, everybody. I'm gonna get polished at this stuff.
Oh, there are doctors out there wanting to know just how sick you really are.
Yeah. How did you do tonight?
I'm still doing.
You're still playing, but you can be here because you're not
very
on the
typical
top 10
position.
boards. Yeah, okay. This is Jacobian versus Wong. Jacobian is a strong A to expert
Jacobian.
plebeian.
Accent
And
hack.
Russell Long is a master, has been floored. I'm gonna be merciless on, see what happens
He
here.
has reached, more triple pawns.
Wow,
Boy, a popular phenomenon.
tripled pawns, everybody.
You'd think that, is Peter Gray Irish? William Gray, rather, sorry. Peter Gray is no longer anything but memory. 3, 6.
F4 maybe, and bishop F5.
Yeah, before the knight can get there, that's for sure. If that isn't.
Possible.
Wait,
Oh, but he goes this way, but this is problem.
liquidating one of his C pawns.
Mm, I don't know, I think this is, black is,
Was that actually played?
mm-hmm.
Oh.
Black could maybe try F4 here,
Maybe hanging a pawn for nothing.
bishop F5.
That's all.
Yeah, then you take on E5.
And that's not the end of it.
Yeah, maybe. I just like when you're ahead in development to
Lombardi.
strike. Okay, black is this is, oh, that's a
You play
square.
95 unprovoked. Wait a minute. Wait, this is the game?
Yeah.
Holy smollins. So I didn't, is
So-
there a reason why
so-
d takes C5 didn't happen? Must have.
D4,
Oh,
knight
those moves
G4.
are- I see. Okay.
White should maybe consider playing bishop D2 here, although queen H6 is,
Oh,
H4 G5. I mean, even something as radical, yeah.
that's what he said.
I mean, after this, 95.
Well, this knight F3 is in check, but it's not.
Right.
That's no whole concert. Just develop.
White is
as if
playing,
nothing
yes,
happened.
white's playing as though
Rook H1,
nothing.
oh, charming.
So here we are,
This is
The
actually
times-
a game. Who's this playing?
Hakobian versus Wong.
Oh, whatever. Just thinking.
So, knight, yeah, you wanna get in there.
But how?
F4, yeah.
F4.
F4 and bishop G4. I don't know, it gives the knight that square. G5 and then F4.
Now you're squawking.
Now I'm squawking.
Although G5, H3 maybe.
This is incredible. We have
Rook H1
analysis by international
H3,
master
because
Elliot Winslow.
That's not incredible.
Is this
Have you let people know that these games will be found every week, analyzed on the
They will be found every week,
Mechanics website?
found on the Mechanics Institute chess
I mean,
website.
that's
Well,
interesting,
about-
by the way.
What?
That is moving to there, so
Yeah.
you get to there.
Yeah,
We know
G5
that,
and
but knight takes
F4.
F4,
And
And
then
G5 first, or maybe,
then G5.
No, I'd say move that first.
okay, if you play F4, I mean, there's Queen E4 to imagine, there's
No,
Knight,
actually,
what about
Queen
Knight
E4, bishop
F4?
H3. Oh, that's right, Queen King takes F3.
Knight F4,
Wait a
what
minute.
about Knight
wait,
F4?
wait a minute. That doesn't work. Okay, if Queen takes E4, bishop H3 check. King takes F3, Queen H5. Right, well,
King
for
F4.
G5.
Wait, no, you
Oh,
can't
it's not
play-
mate. It's not mate. He goes to E5 or F. He takes a little walk, does he? Big walk, little pier. How's that go? Long
Let's
walk,
go
short
that
pier.
again.
They put it on the
F4,
board,
yes.
can't do.
no,
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
Over there? You can't.
Can't you
No,
do that
I'm,
first?
I'm, right now, I'm
Uh-huh.
just getting used to this thing.
Okay.
Can't
Right.
do that?
If F4, knight takes F4, G5, that's probably
Knight
the easy way.
F4, G5, well then Queen E4.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, okay, we'll find out with how, let's look at, here is a matchup. Now,
Judith is giving you props for your TDing of the high school section.
oh, thank you. Where was she the whole time? I don't even remember.
This is
She's
very
inside that room.
Was she?
solid, man.
yeah, no,
It's
no,
very,
She's
very
helping the
solid.
Let me
lower
tell you.
sections.
this is a fantastic, this is the
Very-
way to play
Temporary bright.
these isolated queen compositions with black, I think.
I know.
Is you play your knight to E7. That is,
Yeah.
to me, that is the big key here.
I played this system for both sides for years.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, the key is to put the knight on, is for black to remember to put the knight on E7. And then the position,
Actually, that's what they're doing anymore. That is
the old way.
old way for you.
Well, I don't care.
You know, I just went.
Knight F6
I
is
just went in the back, and
static.
it was like
It
was like half a dozen old people. It was great.
I'm gonna go this. So I mean, Ethan Boldy is a young man.
He
what,
plays like
15?
doesn't play like it. He's not even he's a kid, but he plays like an old man.
Now,
Depends which
why
way.
not Bishop G4? I mean, Bishop G4 looks better.
No, I like that right there.
I
H3
much
for-
prefer Bishop
But then you give him
G4.
H3 for free because he's
Yeah, but
frustrated either.
H3 is that a useful move? Bishop can go back here onto this diagonal and then to E4, or I could retreat there, and you have a sack on H3.
I like stuff on Bishop B4.
I like provoking H3, and I think Bishop D7 is just too routine.
So white needs, was that what he did?
Yeah.
So they're piling up. So what's the plan? Oh, played it anyway. Rook
This is
E8.
this is I like this for black. I mean, I would not play Rook A8. I would play Rook D8 and Rook F8.
Just in case.
Yeah, it's just better. It's more
So black has
prophylactic.
plans.
Well, black might
Plans
be
not
trying to
always
play
work.
F5 and F4.
Or,
I mean,
or F6 and 95. That's another plan.
or 95. Yeah,
Or something involving a knight into F4 or
Knight G6 to
get the
F4.
bishop on E4.
No. These positions are nice for black to play.
Board 6.
No
is a result.
question, I'm
Yes,
telling you.
Yeah, we that was a massacre. We described that
A calamity.
as a massacre.
Yeah, I know.
Sam.
I should go make a move, but I'll be back.
Eric Lee and Sam Sloan.
We described that as a massacre already, but we can go back there because it was very.
So good. The Bloody Mess was so good.
Yeah. Here's Abel again, and Elliot had to go back somewhere. Let's see. Okay. Oh, now we have FIDE Master Ezra. Is he FIDE Master Ezra Chambers? FIDE Master Ezra Chambers is black against Clarence Lehman, an old experienced,
My
hand.
opponent,
Let's see how this goes.
he's still thinking.
So this is an already probably not a book
This
position.
may never happen before,
Yeah.
with good reason.
And
What is
white,
this?
black is clearly probably equalized.
Who is this? There's no
This is
names.
Lehman
Oh, there it is.
versus
Oh, Lehman versus
Chambers.
Chambers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So black is trying to play for more here.
It's the Berkeley variation of the Burundi defense. Wow, starting with almost normal, but not quite. Now what? Ooh, that can't be good. But wait, this knight takes E5, everything's covered. Whoops, and now C5.
This is
But the
badly calculated by
Yeah,
white.
yeah, oh well.
I mean, if F takes E5, CD4,
Yeah.
this is just
Something went wrong.
the complications for the sake of complications.
Got his foot caught in the
he's
stirrup
just
when he
pawned
tried to
down
dismount.
and in a losing position probably already.
And that's that. Wait, and this, no.
So now on our last board
What's
is
happening on
Segmed. This 1-0 is not counting.
Mugi.
Mugi versus Gianluca. What's Pane's rating? About probably 1900 or so.
The
Yeah.
Red Master.
We're gonna have some real bloodthirsty pairings coming up here.
But first,
With the
Slav
Masters.
defense.
Yeah.
Actually, the E5. This has always been a strange line. Black has all these moves here. E5 is the old and main one.
Thank you, Elliot, because I don't have any clue. Is this just not
This is a known line.
clearly better for black,
It might well be.
who's up a pawn?
So he is. But white
White has-
plows forward.
Yeah, this is very.
Undeterred.
Yeah. There was no hope.
Yeah,
reason to
letting,
play knight
this is why
G5.
E5 was such a, well, there was because Bishop D5 lives.
Right. Yeah.
No E4 crap, so to speak. Is this a family channel?
So no, we're
maybe
fine.
Knight G5 is checkmate, only it is not checkmate. Ooh, Bishop, no, there's just nothing quite happening. Well, there's a dream. No.
Black is playing very solidly.
That was a little slightly unnecessary. Why because Knight F5 otherwise.
What are you seeing?
Well, if Knight takes F6 for black, then Knight E5. Slightly annoying.
Yeah, and then you might have trouble defending that. See, black is trying to stay up on ahead here.
Hang on. Oh, but there goes the defense. Oh, she wants to play G takes F and take the pawn next.
Ooh, or play, is there
That's-
something else
that's
to
a bit-
consider
That's a
here?
bit risky.
I mean, you can keep the other bishop, the queen bishop versus the knight.
Well, then the bishops come off and, well, yeah, maybe, or bishop is back to d5.
Like
Bishop
bishop,
b7, and,
Then-
and the b4.
but then bishop e2.
Oh, that's really okay. Bishop e2, queen takes rook f8, bishop b4, queen takes rook takes queen, bishop takes queen.
Is bishop g7 a possibility? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, bishop e2, queen e2, what's wrong with that? That if
Queen takes g7,
queen g4 check,
legal. Oh,
and picking up the
interesting.
knight at d7.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Don't leap to any conclusions.
So bishop g7. How about that? We finally put our thinking caps on.
Yes, hats on, gentlemen, a genius.
So bishop g7. What could go wrong?
Anything could happen. It probably will. Let's see. So,
So
Take
bishop
takes.
g2.
that'll teach you. And I get to the g file first. I have queen g5. Ooh, queen g5 right away. Whoops. Oh, then bishop takes f3. It just wins the point.
What? Show me that.
Bishop takes g7, queen g5, just simply bishop takes f3. That's ridiculous. Okay, never mind.
So bishop g7, bishop g2.
No, yeah, okay, that's interesting, definitely. Ridiculous, but interesting. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, she's thinking now, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
How about that?
Wait a minute, I can't help but notice that there's a result there.
That's that's been up
It goes.
there. Yeah, it's like it's some weird thing.
That is weird.
This is a very interesting position, and you know we can actually go
Imagine.
to
Is there an engine
yeah.
from a click away?
Show me where the engine is a click away here, Juan. We've got an engine here. We can go straight to this, as far as I know.
I was gonna say, here we are analyzing without.
Did you give me
rudder.
a link to
Down there,
this one,
boom.
Chrome, and click it?
Why don't you click it here? What could happen?
And then,
Copy. Oh, make a new or copy and paste up. You're gonna mute it. Is it on now? Okay, it's on. We're at chess24.com, but this is actually last round. So let's see.
you know which one.
Let's see if we can go to chess24.com, and we're gonna put this in English, just because. And then we're gonna go to live Spring Tuesday Night Marathon. Tell me if this is showing up.
No,
It's not.
just wanna.
Want me to exit out?
No, you can actually watch it.
Just taking a look for my own. Yeah, let's see what's happening in this game. Right? And they're giving bishop takes g7. Look at that. Just like we said. And then bishop takes e2. They don't even give bishop takes g2. Let's see. Why is this so bad? White wins by playing bishop takes f8, and if bishop takes f1, then of course bishop b4. Nice. All right, I'm going to X this out. And now I'm back to am I back and I'm heard and everything like that? Everything is fine? Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to the top boards. We've gone through every board. Let's see how Jason Childress. Oh, it stopped. Or has it stopped? No, it hasn't. They've played a bunch more moves. Queen G5. Nice aggressive move. I like that. Knight D7, of course. Rook D2. H6. Queen's trying to get the queen away. Black's offering the exchange of queens. And white is refusing to the Grand Master. On the other hand, he's putting his queen on a square that his knight would like to go to. It's he's showing guts though, and we like that. Castles. We have a very thing. Black is trying to achieve a certain positional ideal here, and that is to play, to dominate on the dark squares, and to have that light squared bishop running around outside of outside of that pawn's formation. You know, strategically, Black is playing. You know, white is going to have to get a little tactical here and maybe try to play f4, because this is not the kind of position where you can, you know, Black is kind of starting to hold the strategic trumps. It could end up that way. We'll see. So 96, right? 96 and knight d4. So white must have something that planned against 96. You know, white's trying to create a little trouble here, and that's what he should be doing. Okay, very good. We've got and he played 96. He played 96.
I get character
Juan, this is actually, it's at a tilt. Let's try to get Joe back in here. Joe's sitting with me, and Joe is Joe Tracy, strong expert, and one of the first people that I met here at the Mechanics many, many years ago. Like 40 plus years ago. Well, Joe's not in it, but it does. We'll get it. Okay, there we go.
Were you doing color commentary?
Yes, I am. And you're welcome to join us, Jerry. We have right here.
I'm not that good. I'm not that good.
We have one of the. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right. It's a little crowded, but it's okay. That has nothing to do with it. Okay. All right. Okay, so like I said, this game is, you know, Jason Childress is playing a good game. He's, you know, but this is strategically, white has to be careful, you know? I mean, knight d4 and, you know, maybe a king side. I usually like black in these positions. This is definitely a black kind of position. Let's take a look at FIDE Master Stearman versus Kondakov. We left off here, and we said that white needs to do something fast, or else his advantage. This rook is out of play. Now is the time to, for all good chess players, to act. Black is trying to get his rook back in, and white is. That's quite an attempt to try to open up the game here, maybe just in time to try to do anything. But, I mean, well, let's see. That's the principled move, because look at this complex of weak squares. It reminds me a little of the game we were just looking at. White is, that's a, you know, that's a knight f5, probably not playable. White's thinking. I mean, white's made some concessions. He's made a positional concession, and you know, if he can play knight f5, but why should he be able to play knight f5? Yeah. Meanwhile, black is very solid here. Maybe white can try f4. f4.
Queen there,
Yeah.
followed by the knight there.
But the knights are protecting each other, which is kind of nice.
So what am I talking about? If I
Queen
go there,
c3.
if
Yeah.
I go there,
But let's say black doubles rooks on the king fall. Knight f5, I'm going to take it, you take, and then I'm going to play rook takes pawn maybe in the middle, you know. Right? If you play queen c3, rook a, e8, now you play knight f5, I take, you take with the knight, then I play rook takes e4. You know, you can't play queen g7 mate because my knight's still at f6. All right, I mean, we'll see what happens. White, you know. Well, as Fisher said, you have to give up squares to get squares. Let's see how O'Connor is doing in this game. After b5, black went back on c4, just like I said. He's got to, you know, he doesn't want to sit back and wait for this to just get weak and black to start moving around. But this is where white's ahead in development. It should be good for white. Let's see. Queen b3. Yeah, bishop e5. I don't know, queen b3. Sure, develop. Black's got that nice square. There's just nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. However, you know, white has more space, and no, you know, he's just got that one weakness at d4. So, no problem. You know, still a game in balance. And here is Anderson. We left off after knight a5. I was thinking that this is risky. This is very risky. Why black is playing like this? Extremely risky to do this.
chop that. Chop that thing.
He played queen b8.
I think chop that. Whoops, what's this? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. If I was white, I could play bishop d5 here, or you know, knight d5. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, but sacrifices look like they're possible.
I don't like leaving that. I like that one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Get rid of that.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Anything is possible. Okay, so let's see Guy Ardo and Tenzing Shaw. We left off at this position, and now white is. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What exactly is black accomplishing here? If queen takes e5, bishop f2, check, king, I guess h1 or g2. If king g2, bishop c6 maybe. Are you hearing me? Or are you hearing it?
Yes, but
Everything's fine?
it's low, but I can hear it.
Okay. Should I sit a little closer or move the mic a little closer or? Okay. This is volume here. Okay. How is everything? How's the pace of it and the whole?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seemed like you got into a rhythm.
Yeah. Well, this is fun. You know, it's fun. We're here with our friends talking about chess. How bad can this be? But look at this. Queen takes e5, bishop f2, check. King h1. If bishop takes or queen takes, black has some play. I mean, he's gotten 2 pawns and white has 2 bishops. I don't know. That's worth it. It's definitely worth it taking a chance like that. Maybe if as a way to unbalance the position. So Tenzing Shaw is by far the higher ranked player, and he's, looking to unbalance the position. That's exactly what you have to do. So, We saw this crush. Jacobian versus Wong. And this is just the problem for white, is this long-term horror of, you know, let's see, how did this happen? Okay, so bishop b2. Yeah, I mean, white had to do anything to prevent that knight from coming into f3, I think. And if we go back and take a look at how this happened, yeah, well, we were saying bishop d2 to prevent knight e5. But black plays queen h6, and then you're forced to play h4. And then he goes g5, and the whole thing is starting to fall apart. So he plays king g2, but now black goes knight e5, and he's able to slip the knight into f3. But maybe white could play knight g1 here. I mean, it looks silly, right? But yeah, and then you're prepared to sacrifice on d. I don't know. That doesn't look good either.
Move that, I think, back to there, that knight to go there, and get this going there.
Well, then he could play h3, right? That's why he didn't do that.
And
Then you could play knight f2 and queen h3 or something. I don't know. Maybe.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
But that doesn't look that convincing, because the knight can go to f4 and come back to g2. All right. Let's see what happened now. Let's see what happened. He played.
I wish ill will upon him.
I mean, this is just dangerous for white. You know.
That's life. That's right.
I predict black will come.
I lose.
I predict
I curse him and his family for 10,000 years.
black has a beautiful position here. Beautiful. I mean,
Then study the game, learn from it.
I want him psychologically killed.
okay, so let's take a look at Kyron Griffith versus, and this is the game that we like the way that black was setting up his pieces. Let's see. Particularly that knight to e7 move, which and that's a good exchange. Notice that black could not take back with pawn without losing this pawn.
Right.
So that was well timed. On the other hand, the fact that black has this isolated pawn is not in itself, you know, a serious problem.
Right.
You know, it's just dynamically, these positions are fine for black.
Black is
So,
in pretty good shape.
yeah, it's, you know.
White is, you know, good, but
Yeah.
black is pretty good.
Yeah, it's actively placed,
Yeah.
and that's been well known for a long time.
Who else is this?
This is Lehman versus, this was that horrible, just lost
Oh, this
pawn.
is bad, yeah, bad.
Let's see what happened, and now he's falling behind. Yeah, I mean, he's
So
just a
good.
pawn down with bad position,
Right.
you know? Black's even got the two bishops.
Right.
It's just,
That's no good.
no. And this game, okay, so white thought for a long time and didn't play bishop g7, but played bishop takes f3, knight f6, and rook b1.
No problem.
Well, that makes sense, you know. I mean, I have a feeling white's gonna probably regain the pawn somehow.
You think?
I mean, black can try to dig his heels in, but how? Right. White has ideas like rook b4 and rook takes c4. Of course, black can play knight d5, but I don't know. if the material was even, I would say that white's better, but she still has to try to regain the pawn. By that time, black should have generated enough play to draw the game. That's what I say. Let's see what's going on here.
Who's this now?
This is our star game of the evening.
All right.
This is Patrick Wolf.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
And
let's see what happened here. We had come to this point. Okay, white's played knight e2 to prevent knight d4, but now black is prepared with this c5 move. Now, I mean, if white returns with knight c3, then knight d4. And, right? Or b4, and then knight d4.
I don't know about that. Move that up.
Which white moves one square?
Up to the top.
2 squares?
Yes.
But the knight d4.
Knight to where?
d4. Boom. Knight d4. I think there's maybe some tactics coming in. Maybe white will try to give up the exchange for a queenside pawn. That's, I mean, I'm beginning to think that, again, I mean, white kind of made a few stabs at some active moves like this. Let's go back here. But nothing ever really seemed to pan out for him, I mean, maybe now was the time to play f4. Now you've got to do something. You can't just screw around and wait for the grandmaster to come and find out where you live, and then, knight d4 coming up. Maybe c3, and c3 might not even prevent knight d4, right? Because of cd4, queen takes d6. But it might, I mean, because on c3, knight d4, rook can take on f6, and then take on d4. So c3 is maybe the move to try to keep the knight out of d4. I have a feeling black is on the move here and is making some progress. That's all I'm going to say. Then we can go back to Stearman. And again, structurally, this position looks similar to the position that we just saw. Or it could be. White is a little less compromised. White's not very compromised. I mean, white has chances here. Obviously, a rook lift up to the 3rd rank. Maybe rook c3 or rook to e3. And then starting to make knight f5 look like a possibility. Okay.
Wait a minute, hang on just a second.
Yeah, I think
Wait a minute.
white wants to play rook to e3 here. He's got to prevent knight d3. Okay, that's notice black's threatening knight d3. Yeah, but
This can move.
c5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. What if I play take?
Which one?
D takes c5.
We're going up there?
Yeah.
That's good.
Now you play rook takes e5. I play knight
I don't know
d3.
which one we're talking about.
It's white's move. You want him to play this move?
Yeah.
All right, then I take you with my pawn. What do you do? If you take me with your rook, I come knight d3. Okay. All of this stuff is possible. Let's see. Is that where we are? Yeah. I mean, white should probably play rook to e3. Stops knight d3 and prepares maybe to play knight f5 and sack the knight for pawn. And maybe try to bust open the king side. Keep c5 in reserve, right? That's a possibility. Okay. We're back to this game. Yeah, they haven't played too many moves. I mean, I hate these positions for white and black. I mean, you know, that's why I don't get into these things.
Was that Sam Sloan that went down in flames?
Yes, it was. I mean, got destroyed.
Oh, I can't wait to hear his version.
We're joined by
Again.
international master Elliot
The
Winslow.
whole thing.
Well, it's not connected to the.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Good point.
I have to move the camera separately.
I've got one of those.
Let's see. We're analyzing. This is international master Elliot
You just
Winslow.
said that.
We are
Shapiro
analyzing.
O'Connor.
Yeah, this is I said this is a kind of boring position that
Boring?
I don't like for either side. All right, let's look at Anderson, and
Oh, he sends it in.
I think this
Inspired
is
by
this
Patrick's
is
first round game.
this is also what I was saying. He's used up a lot of time. This is, I mean, it was either knight d5 or bishop d5 because I think it was time for white to do something, and maybe this is even good.
Even too late. Hmm.
The time difference is enormous here. I mean, you know,
13 minutes left. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Typical Diaz.
no, that's Diaz
I
has
know,
100.
that's the
1
typical
hour.
part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, knight takes d5.
Well, then his point is fine. You know,
I guess I would
first
play
game,
pawn
play
takes
pawn.
knight if I had to.
Then what happens?
I don't know. I mean, this is white should have. This was the way for white to play.
If it's unless it loses by force. But maybe I shouldn't have.
I guess. You know, pawn takes pawn. But then, of course, you're going to eliminate the bishop at d3. So, I don't know.
Black
Take
arrows.
that
Yeah,
first.
yeah, no.
Take that for.
Well, knight c7 check.
Take first, think later, especially when you have 13 minutes left. Oh, it's Black's move.
Blacksmith. All right, so let's just say that we think Diaz should take it and weather the storm probably. And there's
So
this.
what's it all about? Why is he so thinking? Take the knight. What's the problem? Is he afraid of getting checkmated?
I don't
King
know.
H1, he's got bishop.
We've been sitting on this position for a long time.
You know, he's like got into a trance.
This crush again, we'll take a look at. There's a.
This is interesting. H4, demanding G5. Maybe not demanding. What the heck is going on? Could play Queen H5, but no, he can't play F4.
and Queen g4. All right. This is a very complicated position, obviously. Not so easy, maybe, for black. His king's on the wrong side of the board. Actually, his king probably. I mean, if black plays rook d6, the rook can get active on the third rank as well as double. Well, maybe after black plays g5.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, but
black for choice, but white's hanging in there.
he's a concrete variation.
And this is Kyron. This is the.
Well, they've made a few moves. Some pieces came off. Thank you for alerting us. Is the microphone on? Yeah, it is. If the button's in, does that mean it's muted?
I'm not sure.
Uh-oh.
We're fine. It's funny. Black can just exchange about
Well, it'd be really
any
stupid if we
pair
were
of mine.
playing, we were recording along, and,
We are recording.
but just in one moment, don't say anything. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's back on green.
Yeah, I mean, black is pretty darn equal there. I think
Yeah, the
that's
more
the thing.
things trade off, the worse it gets, of course.
Is it true?
More or less.
I mean, a knight versus bishop is lost probably, or close to it.
Annoying,
But any other,
white just grinds them down. Queen f3 and
well,
Trade,
Karpov
trade,
was
trade.
never able to grind Korchnoi down,
No.
ever.
bad choice of opponents. It was,
I have a
was
great
funny match for
respect.
you young people who had no idea what we're talking about.
I have a great respect for the way Korchnoi played that match.
Was it 24 whole games?
Was it more than that?
12, Korchnoi had 12 blacks. In 10 of them he played the
French.
Tarrasch French c5, like,
And
looked
drew
like
every
this, drew
game.
every one. In 2 games, one of them,
Dragon.
fairly early on, he decided to play the dragons.
And he
so
got murdered.
got crushed. Great game. And then another one, towards the end, he played some
Open Roy?
fishy Pierce. Was it?
Oh, here it's in the last game,
Yes, that didn't turn out too well.
and they lost that.
That
I'm
was
not
it.
sure about the exact statistics, but I
That
believe
is
you're,
the numbers, yeah.
it's hard.
French, draw. Anything else, loss.
And again, we have this game where white
And then I
is.
played him. And I thought, maybe he'll play the French. I was wrong.
Oh, yeah? What did he play?
Played the classical Sicilian.
Oh, right.
So,
And that was in Los Angeles?
Pasadena.
Elliot Winslow with his incredible memories of playing the great Victor Korchnoi.
Oh.
Amazing. We're doing live this time it is sticking, and we'll be able to review it. We're especially interested in Sam, that was a horrible game.
I know, that was really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's a brilliant young player, and you're just another scalp.
well,
Here's Sam Sloan at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. He just got scalped. Do you want to make any commentary on your game at all? That's in any way?
I played very badly.
Where exactly did you think you went wrong here?
Well,
Was it on the?
It was not in the second move.
Not on the second. Was this called the England Gambit? Or
Anglo
something?
Gambit, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so let's see, knight c6. White plays very simply, knight f3, queen e7,
Now, I'm hoping he'll play G3 here. This is my dream that he'll
G3?
play. Yeah.
okay. And what happens
But
after
he didn't.
g3? Yeah.
After G3, I have a good. No, not yet. No,
Okay, knight c3, knight e5.
Now's when I'm hoping he play G3.
Yeah, g3, g3, a great move, yeah. Oh, it's probably been played, yeah.
But unfortunately, sadly, he didn't.
So now this, I mean, what happens here is that I think you would have done better to play a kind of a knight e7 or d6 and knight f6 kind of a thing here, you know?
Mhm.
But what happened when you did this and then this,
Yeah, that was a bad move.
that particularly, yeah.
That was a bad move. I
Yeah.
don't know why I played that. Right after play, I said, gee, why did I do that, you know?
Right. Well, yeah. Anyway,
So
you won a fine game in the first round, so.
Okay, well, let's keep going with this. I want to see what you say about this.
Oh, okay.
Well, what should I have done
Instead of G6?
yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, knight F6
Yeah.
and D5 maybe, because if he plays E5, you've got queen E5 check and queen takes E5.
Right, yeah.
So knight F6, trying to play a quick D5 maybe, or you know, and if you can, then to just, you know, develop D6, bishop E7, you know, somehow get your stuff out.
Now, let's go back to G6. Now, the game wasn't over yet. I wasn't. I had a
Queen
bad position.
D4.
Okay. And now I played F6.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if queen F6, he's going to play E5 and then F4 or something. So, okay, F6. And I mean, this looks like a Morphe game now or something, you know, from White's point of view. That it just has to make kind of natural, that's a little bit of a prophylactic move. And let's see, what about the queen E7 move? I was trying to figure, you could go queen check and queen E5 again. he'd even play queen c4 then. I mean, I don't know. Okay. No, that's it. I think pretty much, maybe you should have kept your king in the center. I mean, rather than whether this is just gonna be, this is just looking for, he's gonna win you can't escape with him, at least even winning a pawn at d6. Like, it's just,
Oh, yeah, now, wait, go back one,
yeah.
Go back to the last move. Oh, it says art, I was thinking I should have played.
c5.
C5, right, that's what I think it should be.
Yeah, but he's good. That just gives him d5. He'll go back bishop c3, and then he's got this beauty. He's got another. He's got knight d5. He'll still be threatening queen d6.
Basically pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. I mean, you can quibble a little bit here, and try to worm your way around. But let's quickly go back to Patrick Wolf here
Okay.
on board 1 versus Jason Childress. Let's see.
Well, back to my game, the first bad move was G6, right?
Well, I think we kind of looked at, we're going to look at, I mean, yeah, G6, well, I think it was kind of not so great anyway. But I want to see what's happening here in the Patrick Wolf game. White gets a piece off of the vulnerable G6 square. Knight C1. Yeah, White's knights are getting kicked around. I mean, that's a good square. That's the only good White piece really that's on a great square. And now if Knight D4, White can still play C3. So maybe Black doesn't have that much going on here. Rook D4. Okay. Good move.
Now, who's Patrick Wolf? Patrick Wolf was white here?
Black.
Black,
So, I mean, maybe bishop e6, queen e6, c3, to contest that d4 square. All right, I'll go out on a limb to say that White should maybe consider that. Let's go to the next game. Stearman versus Konikov.
Now, you're just analyzing the top 10 boards, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, well, the ones that are on the GGT boards. Yeah. I mean, this is very rudimentary. This is our first time doing this, first time with video and DGT. So there's not that interactive DGT boards with, and we're also not using computer evaluations. I could go to computer. We're going to work our way to much more sophisticated interactions. Pretty soon it'll be, bread and circuses. Right now it's just chess. How'd you do, Caesar?
One game.
So the tragedy of playing chess, it can be brutal. All right, these games are still going on, and Stearman Konikov is in a strange kind of, equilibrium again. I mean, White's got these dark squared weaknesses, but knight f5 is always a looming idea. Black is weak d6 square. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's a little bit of a strange one.
Now, if I go home, I can watch this, your commentary.
Yeah, on chess, I think it's mechanics on Twitch. Yeah. Twitch TV, mechanics chess. So, yeah, and we're gonna archive it, then we're gonna put it on YouTube as well. I mean, actually, Twitch will take it off after 2 weeks, I think. So we have to put it on YouTube, before they do that and archive this.
So my game will be on YouTube, the one I want, not the one.
Last week, we weren't able to pull this off.
I see, okay.
Yeah, we weren't able to pull this off.
Why? Why did you do that?
So Derek's going for the 2 bishops here. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe black is slightly starting to get an advantage there. Here's Anderson Diaz, and you gotta hand it to Mike Anderson. He's sacking a piece with 13 minutes left against the number, the guy who's won the Tuesday night marathon like 5 times. Well, maybe twice, maybe once.
What's going on here?
Anderson is white. He's played a Mara Gambit against Conrado TS, and he's made a positional sacrifice of a knight for a pawn. And Conrado is a long way from castling. Whether white will be able to drum up an attack in the time for black to get his king to safety, that's the question here. Guy Argo and Tenzin Shaw. And this game took an interesting. Black made an interesting sacrifice to try to confuse the issue or create an imbalance, and took this pawn. So white accepted the piece sacrifice and lost the exchange. And we have black way ahead in development, but white relatively safe with the king, and a knight and a bishop for a rook and 2 pawns. I'm going to give black a little bit of an advantage here. Well, definitely an advantage, and for several reasons. One, that he is a stronger chess player in terms of rating. He's a strong master. And the other is time. I mean, black has a huge, big time advantage. And white still has to get his pieces out of the box.
Now, why did white do that? Because it seemed to me, I
Well, it's like black did, I mean, well, we got this position. And white, there was an attack here. White played queen e2 to defend this f2 pawn. And black, all of his pieces are out. Now's the time to strike. I mean, f6 looks like a great move too. I mean, if black didn't want to take any risk, you just play f6, right, with a great game. I mean, obviously black is way ahead in development, has outplayed white. But he decides to do this and give up the 2 pawns,
Okay. So then you move this.
and white plays b3. Okay, so
Okay, then we got,
black is a little easier to play, but this, if white consolidates,
oh, here, like this.
he could get back in the game, but it's black a choice.
Wait a minute now.
All right. This game where white is kind of tied up, but it's not that clear.
Totally shellacked me here. If you would come like this.
I mean, that knight, this is.
And I would have had to take.
This is
a
just-
check. Would have had to take it with this.
You
and
got to
I would've
think that
taken this.
eventually black is going to find a way in here.
I think there's a pawn ahead. Yeah, so I came out here like this. I don't think this.
And this game, which again, maybe white's starting to make a little bit of progress here.
Peter pawn, the player taking the pawn.
It's possible that black should not have been so easily encouraged to make these exchanges. Back here,
To D2. Knight B to D2. This. E5.
that move right there, that might be one of the culprits of what happens here. Why play bishop f4?
Possible. Bishop to E2.
You could temporize by playing bishop e5. I don't like the arrangement of the rooks either. Rooks should be rook d8 and rook e8. So that was making it more difficult for black, for example, to play something like g6 and bishop f8, or bishop e5, g6 and bishop f8. There's all kinds of ways to play these
Now,
positions.
going back when he took on c6, why didn't he take with the pawn instead of
Because the pawn at a6 was hanging.
Oh.
So that was actually wise. That was actually good timing. And so what happened was this, and this is just more comfortable for, I mean, maybe black can draw at some point, but rook comes to e1. We'll see what happens.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Layman Chambers, this is still going the way that it was going before. It looks like it's even gotten worse.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Okay. Knight F3. Yeah, so it's, yeah, that was a stupid move.
Black has regained his pawn. I mean, white has regained her pawn. Now the question is, rook c5 or rook b4. Rook c5, queen a4, and then queen moves, and then you try for a kingside attack. Or it doesn't look like it's that promising.
I move this over here.
On the other hand, if you play rook b4,
Bishop f7. Okay, yeah, right here, you're threatening my queen.
But I also had to move it here.
if c5, rook b5. But even that, black can play queen takes a4,
Yeah.
queen a4, knight a4.
And then queen g5. So I
Get
move
the
back
pawn
here
back.
like this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I wrote queen g5.
Oh, yeah.
Queen g5, queen g5.
Okay. Oh, g5 right there. Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that would be even better
And
for
then,
black.
d4.
Yes.
So you move what, here?
So,
Okay, and then,
Um,
I took this, I think.
hey,
Should take
Juan?
d4. And then,
I think I'm gonna take a 5-minute
I missed
break.
a move there.
I wanna take a 5-minute break. Can you find Juan
So that's.
to shut me off, shut me down?
He went go get some.
Okay. What should I do to, I can wait till he comes back.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm
Is
sure.
this game over? Is this 1-0? Does that mean the game is over?
You know what, that's a flaw, that's a flaw. I'll wait till he gets back and we can talk about how to,
I can't remember being here, so.
Actually, you know what I can do? I can just mute it and then walk away and come back. I'll just mute it. Okay, folks, we're going to take a break so that FIDE Master and Chess Club employee Paul Whitehead can use the restroom, and we can all take a quick break, and I'll be back. One thing, folks, that we're just getting started on this video thing, and one thing I would like to see is a little analysis board. So we've got, we can show what's going on, but we can also like move the pieces around a little bit. Even though I think we can all follow a few moves and get a lot of stuff down through general principles and all that stuff, but it's worth playing out a few beautiful variations every once in a while. But following the game is great. So White decided to play for an attack here. And that was in this position, went for rook c5 and queen f5. Going back a move, I mean, the problem with queen f5 to my mind, is it duplicates the action of the rook. So I was trying to think of maybe putting the queen on a different square. Not sure. Queen d2, of course, queen d3, queen b1, queen c1. All those are possibilities. But let's see. We're having the lower rated players really give the title players a run for their money. And nowhere is that more evident than on board 1, where Patrick Wolf has sacrificed the exchange. Let's see what happened. Rook d4, bishop e6, queen e6, knight b3, perfectly logical. Rook d2, c4, knight c5, I don't know, that's possible. Rook c8, boom, and Jason Childress whacks off the exchange against Patrick Wolf. And not only that, but he goes ahead in the time zone department. Well, I mean, Black has definite compensation. He has more space. On the other hand, White's, and White needs to get his knight into play. Black could try to drum up an attack, a quick attack with g5, g4. Not clear what's going on here. White can play knight f2 and, find a way to play a3, or even obviously c3 is going to be difficult to play, but a3, and maybe start breaking up things over here. Well, knight f2 here or a3 suggests itself. Anything could happen here. White has done well. He's up the exchange, but I mean, Black has positional advantage. So let's see what's going on board 2. And they're still monkeying around in this position here. If White can find a way to win the d6 pawn or something, he'll have something to show for himself. All right, here is Derek O'Connor has gained the advantage of the two bishops, has the b4 square. White has an isolated pawn at d4. Starting to look, if Black can find a way to gain a little space, I mean, that's his big problem here, is he's pushed far back. If he can find a way to gain a little space in this position, he'll be doing a lot better. As it is, he's pushing, but it's nothing completely clear yet. And here's the incredible Anderson Diaz game, and a lot has happened, of course, because Anderson was in terrible time trouble. Diaz is let's see, better. think we're seeing the fact that white doesn't really have enough compensation here, probably. Still falling, joined by international master Elliot Winslow. You can see half of his face. There we go. Wow.
Whoops.
Our little camera is having trouble staying alive.
Should've-
Ah, it's on something.
Carlson was playing banter chess.
Banter chess.
Carlson was playing. This thing isn't even connected. Your house side.
Yeah, okay. It's fine. All right, so Anderson wants to play rook c7 or knight d4. This could go either. Anderson is playing the game, another game of his life.
Not if he doesn't. It's just his life.
Bishop b6 is a nice looking move. It frees up b4. It prepares to put a piece on c7. I swear, this is. This could be the tournament that brings Michael Anderson redemption.
Oh, you didn't hear what I've said now at least twice.
With that.
Losing to him, it was important to lose to him because he was about to give up chess. Now he's good for another couple of years.
We're all friends here at the Mechanics Institute. We even lose to each other just to make ourselves feel better and to make them feel better. Okay. Guy Argo versus Tenzing Shaw, and again we have this situation which we had just before. Well, the same situation with Black attempting to use his leading development to open the game up for his rooks, etc. I like Black for choice still. And this crazy game, White is trying to hold on. I feel Black should find some way to break through eventually. And that's my prediction for this game. Conor Griffith was starting to achieve something. And then now another exchange on c6, the second time that knights have been exchanged on this square. Again, if pawn takes knight, bishop takes a6.
But bishop takes and d4 happens. This is not so happy for
Bishop
Black.
takes queen f4. Oh, queen g4 maybe.
Might still play.
Queen g4.
You better play somewhere where I can. d4 is annoying. Oh, there's rooks. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and if pawn takes, bishop takes a6,
Can
I
you play
guess.
rook takes e2 first, or e3, but then you can take with the queen.
Yeah. White for choice here, especially with the time situation. Let's take a quick look back at Patrick Wolf's game, who is now down the exchange, down on time, and with a marginally better position. I mean, strategically, yeah, maybe knight d7, knight c5, maybe g5, g4.
Oh,
But White still has resources here, like a3. I keep wanting to play a3 and just
he might.
find some way
Trojan-
out of my misery over here.
Petrosian exchange sack on d4 in the Pierce.
But a3, knight d7, ab4, ab4, and the threat of knight c5 is strong. Funny enough. Funny, ha. I don't know, Patrick Wolf is an experienced grandmaster, as we've said before. Okay. Hey, can you, what is the link? Can you phone me the link? What?
Muted.
You want me to mute this? Okay.
Just one of those voices.
All right, I'm letting a friend know that I'm streaming live here, and let me see. So it's Twitch. Sorry. Let's see. Everybody, it's Twitch .tv slash okay, Mechanics Chess. No apostrophe, right?
No.
Right.
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to copy this. Let's see, how do I do that? All right, enough messing around with that. Okay, so let's look at Patrick Wolf again. All right, nothing has happened here. Jason is still taking his time. I'm going to go find the next game, and that was Stearman versus Hondakov. We've already talked enough about this. My friend says he just. I gave my friend Jamie a link to the Twitch TV set channel, and he said he sees just some old guy. I don't know who he's talking about. Do you? There is a place to type in comments, but I can't see those comments right now. I'll see them later, and then I can decide whether to block people or not. Okay, let's go back to the chess. Stearman, Konnikov, again, these guys are sort of playing chicken with each other. Wow. Derek O'Connor has definitely made some progress here with the two bishops. In fact, this looks like a blow, a knockout blow almost. Let's go back. Bishop e4, rook e1, attacking the bishop. Here we go. Knight f3, knight e4. I mean, this is it. Coming in on the two bishops, they mean something in this life, in this world. Knight e3 attacks the bishop and covers the c2 square. But this black has just won the exchange. And that will be the game, folks. That will be the game, is my prediction. So Derek O'Connor kind of cruising to a comfortable victory here is what I think. We're going to look at some other games quickly. Anderson, the incredible Michael Anderson versus Diaz. And Anderson is down to 8 minutes versus almost a whole hour for Diaz. Anderson's down a piece, but he's trying to outfox the old, it's like one old guy trying to outfox the other, and that's what's, with knight d4 as a possibility, and rook c7 or bishop c7, anything could happen, folks, anything could happen. Okay, we're going to skip along. Arco Shaw. Wow. That gives black 2 connected pass pawns in the center. However, white's doing what he has to do to sort of stem the tide here. I mean, who knows where both players could have played differently or better or worse or something here, but this is a very unbalanced position that could go either way. We're going to skip that game, which again, let me just point out that this game was a massacre. And I just want to keep showing his final position. Eric Lee, a young man, I think he's 12 or 11, just murdering Sam Sloan, who's, and that's the end of that commentary. Yeah, here we go again with this Jacobian game. And again, like I said, I feel like it's just a matter of time before black finds a way to break through here. I'm not sure why white's not playing h5 to stop g5. Although g5 is, of course, too risky play in this position. hg5, hg5, rook h8 mate is one variation that black does not want to fall into. Okay. So, Kyron Griffith versus Boldy. Oh, yeah, well, we have one of those classic games, can white grind this out to a victory? He's sitting on a positional advantage that's, could at some point become a material advantage if he can win the d5 pawn. Too far away in the future to tell. Clarence Lehman, this game, nothing has happened in this game except for white's position has just gotten steadily worse and continues to suffer pawn down with a vastly inferior position. I predict a smooth victory for black. And this game, we have, let's see, we were here. White has sacrificed a pawn for a kind of a speculative attack. But, there's enough activity and the bishop is, worth something as an attacking piece here. And all white has to do is regain a pawn on the queen side, double-edged, somebody could make a blunder and fall into something here. For white to make progress to play g4, g5, that is a big commitment on white's part to try to blast open king side like that. Could backfire easily, especially in this position. Black's playing very solidly. Let's see what happens. Back to board 1. Grandmaster Patrick Wolf. Wow. Okay, that looks like right away that is a mistake. That has got to be a mistake. I mean, why should black fear playing knight pawn takes pawn, queen takes queen, knight takes queen, pawn takes pawn, and then pawn takes pawn. I think white looks like the c3 is. I mean, okay, let's look at knight pawn takes pawn. Must play queen takes queen, knight takes queen, and then must retake knight pawn takes pawn. Now black can play take with the pawn or with the rook, I guess. If he takes with the rook to knight 2, actually. And then if rook c6, rook a b1, and then there's a question, or rook db1, and then actually maybe losing the knight on b6. All right, so let's just take back with the pawn. So knight pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Nah, queen takes queen, knight takes queen, pawn takes pawn. And now let's just take back with the pawn. You're hitting the rook. I don't know, that doesn't look like white made the right decision here. Maybe just holding, knight d7 was strong, but maybe,
You think it's too passive?
well, it seems to give it's giving a pawn away.
Just for wanting to trade the king.
Yeah, and although black still has knight c5 as a possibility too, but that doesn't look right, no, 'cause queen b4. So d takes c3, b, d takes c, I'm sorry, b takes c3, right? Queen takes queen, knight takes queen, pawn takes pawn. Now with pawn takes pawn, that looks strong. I mean, just pawn takes pawn looks very strong. You know. No, you're fine. You can talk. I'm with Abel Talamentes, the chess room director. Busy tonight.
Very busy.
Very busy. 55 boards at the Mechanics Institute. Okay. Here is Stearman versus Kondakov, and whoa.
I seem to be in the back. And I thought I could go on if they would cover him, but I'd be okay.
All right, white has a nominal advantage, a 4-3 advantage on the king side. It's actually got a little good for white here, sort of. Stearman Kondakov. It's a clear majority on the king side now. So, and it can complete control of the d file. This is starting to look good for white. Derek O'Connor is just playing on an exchange ahead. I predict a smooth win for Derek O'Connor. And Anderson is doing what he can to muddy the waters. Oh, he put his knight on h4. Huh? So after queen e8, I mean, to me it looks like sense to play rook c7, maybe. Although it looks like, you know, I'm not sure how black is going to respond to rook c7. Maybe dodge away with the king to g8. But this move, where's the follow-up? Now black has a useful g5 move as well. So I'm not sure that that knight h4 was really called for. I don't think it was called for. Black is looking better here. Let's go to Argo Shaw. Still extremely double-edged. Position could go any way. There is a thing in there that says put your, yeah, you're good. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Now we have Jacobian and Russell Wong. Not much has changed here. I still think black is for choice. We'll find a way to break through somehow. Con Griffith is keeping positional advantage against Ethan Bolte. I feel like at some point this, you know, with f4, f5, or c4, or I don't know, or some piece, white's got a nice grip on the position. And a huge time advantage, gigantic time advantage. So that accounts for a lot. Clarence Lehman versus Ezra Chambers, and this is our evaluation of this has not changed either. This is just clearly white struggling on a pawn down, has been for the last 15, 20, 30 moves. And white has done that very plan that we were thinking of, is throwing the kingside pawns up to try to attack. Very double-edged. Black can do a third-rank defense, maybe with the rooks or something. I like it though. This is the only way for white to justify the way she's played so far. It's good chess. But black's queen is far from action, and the knight is unsupported. So black has some problems to face here. Getting, his pieces are active, but what are they doing? So maybe knight d6 here is a possibility. The most important thing about this broadcast is that I do not wipe my nose with my sleeve while I'm doing it. And as long as I remember that, everything will be fine. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Okay, I want to go back a few moves. BC3 happens, just like this is Jason Childress versus Patrick Wolf. Queen b6, knight b6 takes, and took the pawn as we predicted, because taking with a rook only leads black into trouble probably after rook b2. So he takes with the pawn, safe alternative move. And then this is just not the way you want to play this for white, I mean, it's passive. If you could win that pawn, great, but let's see. Okay, that threatens knight f2, knight d1. So let's see what black can do. I mean, is it really as simple as that? So, bishop a, if knight f2, bishop, knight f2, bishop a6, knight d1, bishop d3, and then white can play rook takes e3, and that's completely a draw. What was white's mistake? What move? After, instead of c3? Rook c1? Yeah, so knight f2 was much better. Black was in trouble. Patrick Wolf, our grandmaster, participant grandmaster, was actually in quite a bit of trouble if white played knight f2 in this position. Instead, went for the obvious rook c1, and now obviously intending to play knight f2, but now it's just going to be a draw. Oh well, a missed opportunity. And here's Stearman, and now Stearman has a clear advantage versus Sondikov. Roy Lopez kind of pawn formation on the black side means that white has a pawn majority on the king side, and as well as domination of the d file. White is clearly better. And I can tell you, and now Jericho O'Connor looks like having no trouble converting this exchange up position. Diaz is now up another piece. Anderson has gone berserk and sacrificed another piece. Let's see what happened. Black got in the useful g5 move, just like I said, and now white played rook d4, and Conrado has no trouble taking that off. Has this check on h5, but where's the beef after knight g6? I mean, black still has to get his pieces out, but this is two whole pieces now that white has sacrificed. So I'm going to say that black is much better, if not winning, unless white has some amazing thing to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Here's Guy, Argo, and Shaw. This game can go any way. It's still very unclear. Again, it's just a question of this game might go on for a while, but it seems to me a question of black being able to land the appropriate knockout blow. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be knight d4 or rook d2 or, you know, playing g5. Maybe it's time for black to move his king all the way over to the queen side so that he can play g5. Well, I mean, I'm not sure that black really wanted to do that move, which puts pawn on a white square and opens up the 7th rank. I mean, you can't blame black for wanting to play a5 and b4, but I mean, all white has to do is play a3, and black's just making more weaknesses for himself. It's very difficult. I mean, white's got f5 coming in. Black is in trouble. Maybe not that much trouble, but it can get worse quickly. Also, let's point out that black only has 3 minutes left, and white has almost 50 minutes left. Lehman versus Chambers. The axe is going to fall eventually. This is only going to end in disaster for white. He's probably going to lose another pawn on the queen side after this after a rook infiltration over here. A5 is A5 now. That looks good, but A5 was also very, this is very strong. This is just everything going well? Conrado? Okay, Conrado. Okay, we have another result here. White lost on time. We'll have to leave it to the chess computers, but it looks like white never found a knockout blow and lost just by giving away too much material. A brave try by Michael Anderson, but it came up short. Last game, okay, we have seen this. We have seen the enemy. Black is taking radical measures to stop g5. And actually, it's been stopped for a very long time. However, those are some very weak squares now over there, and if white can get in with a queen and bishop combination, black is going to be dead in the water. There's also the possibility in these positions of playing g5 and h6 or something like that. So white's pawn advance hasn't been stopped permanently. White would like to play something like queen c7, but knight d2. I mean, this black knight is ready to jump in at a moment's notice. Very, very, very tense situation. If I can find someone, Bishop D1. What's wrong with Bishop D1? Bishop D1 threatens the black queen, which must move to either A2 or A6 to defend the knight. I mean, D5 is also a possibility here. I mean, D5 almost looks like it wins on the spot. Knight B2 or knight B6. Well, maybe not. I like Bishop D1 more. I'm beginning to think White has got something close to a knockout here. Maybe D5. D5, knight B6. Now your queen takes, if you play queen takes queen, knight takes queen, and you're on the rook on C5. If you play queen F5, that's a possibility. D5, knight B6, queen F5. Just trying to get in by brute force with bishop E4. But you're not even threatening bishop E4. Because the black queen on A4 and the black rook on E8 are both on that square. So I'm, by the way, right behind me are players from the Tuesday Night Marathon analyzing their games. This is not chess on the internet. It is on the internet. We're on the internet right now. This is the most incredible chess club. I've said before, and I'll say it again. If you want a place to learn how to play chess, if you're a beginner and you're in the Bay Area or you're San Francisco, what a place to get the full chess on experience here. With, being able to watch masters, lectures by grandmasters. There's just nothing like it in the whole country. This is an amazing. Of course, I've never been to the Marshall Chess Club. I have to admit, I've never been. Elliot Winslow can't believe it. I've never been there, so I'd like to visit there before I say that the Mechanics Institute. I've also never been to the Moscow Chess Club. I was at a great little chess club in Mexico once, in a barber shop. In a barber shop. And, that was one of the great.
What were you doing over
Tapachula Quincy in Mexico City.
Is that right? That's a good chess club?
Tapachula Quincy.
So this is unclear. Let's go back to Patrick Wolf. This is gone exactly like we had predicted. Oh, Patrick's played bishop c4. Okay, so he's going to force the issue with bishop b3. And White's just in time to play knight e1, bishop b3, and then rook c3. Giving back the exchange. And if knight... Okay. I mean, is White playing for a win here? I don't have computer analysis here, folks, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Rook b4. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, we've been providing commentary on your game. Yeah, come sit down. Did you tell us about your game, Conrado? Did he have something?
Oh no.
He never had anything.
Yeah, and I'm trouble.
Yeah, so let's just take a look at it. 1, 2, 3. This is so great. Yeah, here, of course, you're winning. This is Conrado Diaz. Very, very strong FIDE master. You know, Larson, okay, so in this position, I think somebody played this against Smith Mora, and Larson said, put a question mark, said, a mistake, because pawn takes pawn wins a pawn. So, white is lost? Is white lost?
Totally lost.
He's not totally lost,
Yeah,
but close to it, right? I mean,
Get some tempo and positional advantage.
uh-huh. I don't know much about this.
Yeah.
Is this the way
I studied that like before.
you studied it?
Yeah.
So this is the way to play with your black?
Yes.
Okay, very interesting.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Yes. Yeah. He's supposed to play
What-
bishop c2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's expected.
Right, sure, that would be expected. Okay, so queen b8.
Yes.
Still, this is possible.
Yeah. My idea there, bishop d7 or knight c6 with the idea of controlling center
And then trading.
Yeah,
Trading.
yeah, because there's a sacrifice on d5 and with attacking e6.
Right, sure. So, but,
I studied that year 2016.
okay. So, I mean, you'd think that white would have said, is this a book move?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a desperate move.
I think it's
Because
kind of
the
desperate.
time, the time.
I mean, I don't have computer analysis, so I don't know.
No, I studied that with tactics before.
Yeah. So this just is bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
But it's tricky, if you underestimate the position.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. White's played. It's not.
But
Did you see this game, the Patrick Wolf game?
yes. Oh,
Why is White playing for a win here with Rook
yeah,
B4?
I think, But,
Looks like White's playing for a win.
yes, because it's a pin.
Yeah. Very impressive. Look at the rating, 1800. Yeah.
Maybe he stopped playing before.
No, this is not true. This is not true. He's still playing. That's just a mistake. These games are finished. Black has made a mistake. White's much better here. And I think this is terrible. Stearman is winning. And Wolf may be losing. It's possible. This is another win, easy probably win for Jericho Connor. This is clearly up the exchange eventually, no problem. Conrado, show the final position again. We had
Give away everything.
we had this game. This is Eric Lee, the boy, the little boy. He's a master.
I played before.
Yeah. So let's see. And we're trying to find a way for Black to break in. Somehow we think Black should win this, some way. Maybe my idea is to move the king all the way over here and then play g5.
I don't want to do it that way. It was an incredible, really long term.
I don't know, maybe play g6 or move the king all the way over here and play g5. I don't know.
Actually, where's Ezra?
Maybe there's another
I
plan.
think knight d4.
Knight d4 also, yeah. Right, knight
And
d4.
G5.
And g5. Yeah, and just, yes.
Yeah, just cover the weak
Right,
diagonal.
just stop the diagonal with the knight. Yeah, put the knight on d4.
Yeah, with the
and
idea of
play
G5, F4.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I
Yeah,
like the knight.
I like that too. Yeah, very good idea. Very strong. Okay, let's see. That was we're suggesting knight d4 and g5, just to bust open
Wait,
white's
oh, this
position.
this is not your game. I was wondering what happened in your game.
Yeah, he gave away.
But see, look what white was allowed to do. White played h5.
Oh.
See?
Oh, he played h6 with h6.
Yeah.
He allowed the 2 versus 1.
So now maybe it's not so easy to play knight d4. You can play knight d4, but then what do you play?
Mm.
Queen b1, rook b6. Maybe you just start attacking the b pawn. I don't know. Let's see. And this game. All right. Let's see. Well, b5, f5 was played. Okay. So white is starting.
Wow, he did that. He's holding tight.
I
Just
think G4.
I had to take it.
G4.
Because if I don't take it,
g4 and
Yes.
g5.
Why did he play d4? That's a good question.
Well, look at the time.
Uh-huh.
It's also the time. So.
So he's going to lose one time. He's going down. Oh, so there's one. So he's got what I have weaknesses. So make that 2 and a half.
Yeah, this b5 was terrible. It's terrible.
this is something we really have to look at.
Fortress it up, but not gonna be easy.
Bishop C2. Bishop C2.
Or bishop c8.
There's a lot of stuff to look at.
Bishop c8, you just move away. Like, here, bishop
Then
a8.
what I would have done is,
You do, just run back.
Ooh, bishop c8 might just.
Bishop c2 and bishop b3.
Yeah.
So,
wait a moment, my queen's over here, that's correct.
Active bishop versus
Yeah,
white.
yeah. It's funny, you know, way back here,
probably.
way back here, black has a great game, but he should play rook d8, not rook, you know, rook d8 and rook e8, but not rook
Oh.
here. This was the start of a lot of problems because, okay, that was good. You can't take back the pawn because of a6, and then.
And now, let's see what we got. I got,
And now I think this is another mistake. Like,
I got a bishop and knight for a rook.
why bother? Why do that? You know, trading every piece,
But
you're
you
not
got
going
pawn.
to.
You got a rook and a pawn.
You're not going
Oh,
to
no, I don't
make
know
it
about that.
easier for yourself. So little by little, you know, and now again another trade on c6. You know, while black can't take with the pawn because of this. I think maybe he should have done it. And then rook a8 and
Yeah.
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 Anyway, so yeah, so white sort of ended up with this.
Yeah. I said, shoot, I can't do this.
And we're here. We are.
Jerry, I'm very.
Okay. Chambers.
What's up?
Did you finish your game?
Yeah,
Did you win?
yeah.
Yeah, we kind of were bored with your game.
I was playing tricks though. There's one like nice trick I'd like you to go.
Okay. Yeah. Ezra Chambers had poor opposition. His opponent, right in the opening, lost time, and then lost a pawn for some pseudo activity. And so let's go look at your game.
Well, there's just one thing like that's kind of cool.
When was that?
Right after Bishop B4, I think.
At the end
No,
of the
at the
game?
beginning. It's like a trick that like I just
Okay.
a little bit further,
You can just go
a little bit further. Yeah, and then so here he played Bishop D. If he goes E5, I was gonna go Queen D5.
Uh-huh.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
G2 and E5. bishop c6, queen c6 still hits g2.
Yeah. I mean, but black already has a great game. I mean, it's a completely even game. You know.
Yeah, black
I
already
mean,
has a great
and then there was some pseudo-active attempt on his part where he just lost a pawn.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, right here.
Yeah.
Not good move. It looks good, but it's just.
No, it's not. It's not good.
And we kind of lost interest in your game right here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Josiah's the one I'm impressed with. He was like slightly better, and now he's like almost winning something.
He's played very, Josiah.
C4 was a very nice try.
Let's see this game. Still no decision. White still thinking. Yeah. G5 is critical.
Yeah.
Bishop D1 might be critical. Queen A2, I think.
This is a weird game.
Yeah.
Black looked like it was completely close to winning. Like,
Yeah.
Is this on Twitch, by the way?
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
I know that you right here, Conrado and I are like,
Photo mom.
Yeah, come here. Yeah. Yeah, we're joined by Ezra Chambers. Yeah, representing Pacifica.
Yeah.
Pacifica.
Right,
Yeah, this is just the first time we've ever had a live streaming of the mechanics of the TNM, and with commentary. It's very rudimentary commentary right now, but I think it's sort of suiting. We've had, various people come in and sit with me and talk, and we're not like analyzing the games, 10 moves in advance. We're just kind of going over the, sort of, but I still think it's very valuable. So let's take a look at this game.
1-0.
No, that's not.
Your worst game.
All right, Patrick Wolf is in trouble, I think. Rook B4 is coming. Yeah,
Yeah, this is a weird opening too.
You have to hand it to Jason, who's really played the game of his life here, and not only that, but is playing for a win. Because in this position, he could have just played knight D1, right? And then on bishop D3, just played rook C3, and that would have been a total draw. Instead, after bishop C4, he's playing for a win with rook B1.
Correct. Correctly, I think. Too.
Yeah, I think with rook B4 coming up, then we can be in a.
Yeah, all the squares are covered.
The only thing is can he win a position with all the pawns on the same side of the board, exchange up against the Grandmaster?
Strong Grandmaster.
Against strong rusty Grandmaster.
Yeah, but still,
Right?
25-64. That's crosses the 25-50 threshold.
I mean, and also he played a great game in the first round. I mean, you got to
that was a cool
just
game.
it looked like the rest of the field was toast after that. But this is a very, you're not going to find an easy game at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club.
But I'm strong on line.
All right, let's see what else is going on.
Well, see you guys.
Okay.
Have to go home. Yeah, I see you.
Yeah. Careful with my hand.
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry.
got weak
Sorry about
hands.
that.
That's okay. No, you're good. And this again, Stearman is just cruising to a victory here, I think. Gaining space. I just have a feeling that this is going to end up as a win for White. But you never know what can happen. Let's see. This is O'Connor's game. Let's see how it's progressed. Oh, it's gotten even worse for black. For white, rather. That's it. King F2 and Rook C2. And Rook G7 check won't matter. King H8. Okay. All right, so O'Connor is going to win. We have DS1, Arco Shaw. This is a tough game. This has been a tough game the whole game.
Well, if you take care, I take the king.
Yeah, now it's,
got to be way down.
this has been a very well-played game by Argo, who beat,
No, I mean,
Natalia Sodakova in the last round. So his chess is, he's, on the other hand, well, very unclear. Yeah. It's been like that the whole game. What do you think? I'm with National Master Conrado Diaz.
I think black is better after D3.
Black is better after D3.
wait.
What about that pawn coming down?
He's up a bishop?
Who's up a bishop?
Schultz versus Wolf? What game was that? What game were you okay, what game were you showing me? That game that just flashed by was
Back to this game is gonna go on forever.
Oh.
What's the time situation? Yeah. This is Griffith Boldy, and a lot of moves have been played. Let's see.
Oh, that should be.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh, Boldy's playing out till May.
It's the simple tricks, huh?
Okay, folks, this game is over, and FIDE Master Karen Griffith, quite strong player, who's just recently come to the mechanics and has one international master norm, I think. He's a very serious player, so we have to take him seriously.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay, this was Chambers' game, which ended in a win for black. We predicted all along. And this game, I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, some moves have been played. Rook B1. Knight E5. Wow. Okay. And we're getting tactical. Rook B7. I mean, it looks like. I mean, White seems to be doing okay if he can just play Rook B7. I mean, that gains a pawn back and. How about Rook B7, Rook D4, yeah. Maybe just Rook B7, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Takes B7.
Yeah. Break up regain your pawn and break up the queenside pawns.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's nothing fancy.
But there's a knight D3 coming. Knight D3. I think bishop D1.
Bishop D1.
Bishop followed by bishop B3 and queen F5.
Knight D3. Yeah. Rook B7, Knight D3. Okay, so bishop D1. Queen A3, I guess, or where's the queen gonna go? He could play Knight D3 as well.
Yeah, yes. But after Knight D3, Queen F5.
Then Rook E1 check. All right, we're looking at Knight D3, maybe Bishop A4, Knight F4, Rook B7.
Knight D3, Queen F5, Rook E1, King H2.
Rook D1?
King H2.
No, Rook E1, King H2,
Yes.
then Rook D1.
And then
Knight D3, Queen F5, Rook E1, King H2, Rook takes D1.
and then Rook takes B7,
And then Rook takes B7. God.
followed by Queen G6.
Following Queen G7. Knight D3. Rook, Queen F5. rook e1, king h2, rook d1, rook b7. Amazing. It could very well. So if queen a1, queen a1, queen g6.
Oh, no. I think it's draw.
Yeah, check
Yeah,
all over.
queen g6, queen rook takes g7.
Oh, rook takes
Yeah,
g7.
queen g6, king
But look-
f8, queen f6.
Oh, look at this. What?
What?
Oh,
Oh, my.
no. Well, that's just a horrible blunder. That's just a horrible blunder. Let's go back to here. So how did this happen? He played dun, 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 dun. We were just praising, okay, rook a8, defending this knight before it gets attacked. And so now rook b4, bishop b6, so he played
What if rook a1 after rook a8?
bishop b3.
Yeah, rook takes c3.
Ah,
It's
Yeah,
pinned
yeah.
down. Yeah, that's overloading.
right, so what was he gonna play on rook
After
a1?
rook a1.
Rook a6?
Because after rook a1, rook a3 is in trouble.
Yeah, everybody's getting pinned.
Uh-huh.
Because if I go rook a6, you go rook a3, like you said. Ah. Good night, sir. How'd you do? You were winning. And then what happened? It happens. Okay. All right. Okay, come on Thursday. We offer a free class on Thursday. I teach a free class for chess players. And they come then. We should look at their Tuesday night marathon games. It's been it's been entertaining. So h3 was played, h5, and then rook b4. So he went the wrong way with the rook.
Uh-huh. Bishop e6.
Bishop e6, knight d1. Oh, well, he's winning pawn anyway. h4, rook c1. He can just take it. Yeah, he can just take it. Instead, he plays this and king h6.
I think.
I don't understand why he's not taking it. Maybe Black's setting up a situation where he can draw pretty easily now anyway, you know, even if this is gone. Surprising, but you know, this is where the A player starts to look like an A player, and you know, by making unnecessary.
No. There's a counter attack after knight takes c3, knight c5 to knight d3, knight f2.
And there's
knight
no
f4.
way out of it. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. So knight c3, knight c5, and Black seeks counterplay by keeping the knights on the board. Rather, yeah.
Exactly.
So I think there's different ways, maybe different ways to play it. Very interesting. All right, Stearman, Kondakov, and White's just rolling up space on the king side. Okay. Derek O'Connor won his game. Conrado has won his game. What? Russell Wong? Russell Wong lost. We have a very surprising result here, where Black lost on time. Before Rook B6, A5. Black lost on time. How, what an unfortunate result.
Why?
Even pawn takes pawn.
I think instead of rook b6, rook d3.
Yeah. Or even pawn takes pawn here.
Yes.
Pawn takes, yeah. Or pawn, yeah.
Yeah, it's still
Something,
playable.
yeah.
Rook takes, b4.
Oh, what a tragedy for Black to lose on time here. We're left with Argo and Shaw. This game is still. Both players must be terrified of making a move here. Queen H1. Wow. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Whew. But now Queen E2 maybe looks strong. I mean, and then you're threatening the B5 pawn, and you're threatening the A2 pawn. And White doesn't want to move his knight while his bishop on F2 is hanging with check. So Queen E2. Why are they giving us such complicated games to look at? We should be looking at easy peasy games. Like Conrado's game. And here we go. Okay, bishop b3 check. This was a complete horrendous. This is now just a matter of complete technique, and that's it. Game over. All right. Yeah. That game on board 10 is lost for Black. Completely lost. We still have an evaluation. This is. I still have an evaluation on the top board as it being this has actually happened now. Patrick Wolf is down the exchange in an endgame versus Jason Childress. I think this game is going to end in a draw. That's my prediction. What do you think?
I don't think.
You think it's a win for White?
Yes.
How would White win this? I mean, I'm curious.
Just double the rook on the 7th rank and sacrifice the rook. Or, yeah.
Right. Of course, you could
And
play
1 pawn up.
that endgame would probably be a win. But what if Black plays King G7? It doesn't let you do that. Yeah. Board 10 was a win for White. We're getting official confirmation of that. We're wondering, we're going to ask board 10, what would have happened after knight d3 instead of but we figured out knight d3, just bishop a4, knight f4, and rook b7, right?
Knight d3.
Bishop takes a4. Knight f4, and then rook takes b7. Okay. We're back here, folks, and,
That's good.
Sturman and Konkov is coming. Adrian has put up a little bit of resistance here.
F5 coming.
F5 is coming. This is interesting though. If he plays F5 now, takes knight D4. Knight D4, C D4, King D4, Rook D7 check.
Like 17 more
Unstoppable.
Well, 17 minutes
If
was
knight G7, rook B8,
No.
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're still, let's see what happened in this game. Black did play Queen E2, Rook E1, Queen A2. Did Black, could Black have played Queen takes B5? I guess then Knight C3 or something, or Knight F6, or...
Well, that's, I'm just.
Very crazy position. Oh no.
Queen F3. Instead of knight D6, queen F3.
Another blunder here. Queen F3. But White's starting to run out of gas a little bit, maybe. I mean, A3 or Queen.
No, queen F3 and then queen F5. Followed by knight F6.
Yeah.
Yeah, free roll.
I don't know. There's lots of possibilities here. Very complicated. This is clearly a mistake, though. Knight D6 just hangs. We're having some time trouble issues. This wasn't even a time trouble issue.
I mean, I've seen a lot of lines where like actually sacrifices.
I mean,
Well, you end up getting, I mean, so maybe it's the case, is you get, I win this, and now you start, you get a little bit of tempo there.
did this win for White? Black. Yeah. White resigned. Yeah. All right, White resigned this game.
96. Black will face 96.
Oh, see, no, you didn't do that, you did this.
So the only game, 2 games left are boards 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, it's a nice little movement.
Yeah, because if I put that here, you're just gonna roll it back, right, with that pawn, so
Now you can't put rooks on the 7th, right?
I feel like I'm getting some.
I predict a draw here. Patrick Wolf is a bit lucky to escape with the draw. The computers think White is winning over here, but I don't think it's true.
I'm not sure if the temples are.
When all the evaluations are very close together, that means that the computer can't find a win. Like, see, it's 193, 193, 193. That means the computer can't find a win.
Yeah, it's.
White's problem is that once this rook leaves the second rank, Black checks him. So I don't see a way to avoid that. I don't see a way to avoid that.
No, I mean,
And on board 2,
I have a lot of attack, you know, this is, your attack, this,
Yes, I mean, I thought like I had the basic compensation with this, like.
Black is just marking time.
It's very interesting, I don't know like, where to take your, like, both have their benefits, you know.
Finally, F5.
Here, of course, the double attack, but I think, is this right?
yeah, that's what he's played.
And maybe Black will end up getting mated on the king
I
side.
think that, yeah, maybe.
That's,
maybe
you know,
keep some kind of pressure.
that's probably what's going to happen.
So, yeah, I think that's probably.
Then I'm either gonna do this,
Right, and then spend a tempo, and then I could get
Before I
something.
bring this out and back and
This has been a lot of surprise, not so much surprises actually on the top boards. Let's see.
Take here is.
Patrick Wolf is heading for a draw probably. Stearman, that was a win. There's been no surprises, except for maybe Sosa Kogian over Russell Wong. Time win for White, pretty amazing.
Now all of a sudden it's like, I feel like.
Kyron Griffith with an easy win, checkmate on the board after a while versus Ethan Boldy. This game was also a straightforward win for Chambers, and the higher rated player won here as well on board 10.
Everything this is just an amazing score.
So,
I had tactics here.
really, it's only board 1.
I was so frustrated. It's like
It's
everything
a
is just
surprise.
There's nothing I can do.
With Patrick Wolf holding on for a draw. You know? It's funny how he's almost out of room on the back on the row there.
Okay, so your next two moves just basically, I mean, things are.
Just rook G1, right?
Yes.
And then.
Surprised you took here actually.
Well,
They say White is winning according to
You really
you.
wanted to play this.
Rook G1 is not even given as a move.
Because now.
Is there something wrong with
I
it?
don't know if this was what I was gonna play. I was thinking like this kind of looks a little risky.
Yeah, but
It might get trapped.
If rook G1,
It's
does White have some? Does Black? White have some trick?
I mean, like this is not what I'm gonna play. And
Yeah.
He played it.
Broke here fine, but it's.
Now they say White is much better. See, it's like computers, you can't trust them.
That's what I'm trying to.
I mean, like it's just like there's no reason for you to even like accept that.
So this is
This is. I don't agree with place for it anyway. I'm sort of thinking, you know, knights are better than bishops.
Patrick Wolf trying to hold the draw on board 1.
He's got.
Okay, so what's happened here?
I want to bring my knight.
Yeah.
GF5, and White takes with the king.
Losses,
I
but
mean, you can, but the thing is, if
I
you're
was
there,
just-
and this is better, if you do that, I'm gonna do this, and then you just.
right, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like if I'm gonna castle, like do it later. So I played here. Bishop F8 and then.
So this is.
No time for Black to resign.
This is where I think
Well
like,
played
like,
game.
a little bit,
Well
like,
played game by Hosea.
It's very ambitious, very ambitious, right? You're just like trying
I'm
to.
asking for trouble, but I'm getting.
The only way to avoid Rook G8 mate is by
I
resigning.
want to know the computers because I was trying to see this of course win or draw. There's nothing, and I was just so frustrated.
I never saw it, but just.
I don't think I was. I think like you kind of shut everything
After
down.
everything cleared.
This night was just.
We
so
just
good.
said the only way to avoid Rook G8 mate is by resigning. Is that correct? Lung?
Yeah, I mean, also, you
Uh,
know,
so Hosea, in your game, when the pawn structure changed over here, was there some way for Black to have avoided that, or? You're welcome, thank you. Was there some way for Black to have avoided? I mean, this when this pawn structure came about, I was convinced that you were probably winning.
Yeah. Well, also his knights after f4, it's just
Yeah. So was there a way for Black to not
I
get
thought
into
okay. So
this?
here, I thought Black could play d5.
T5.
So d5. I mean, it's still much worse. I thought I saw d5, cd, cd, f4, and then he moves the queen away, and then I could play e5.
And then you can play
I think this is
E5.
really like I think this was a mistake. Once I get this,
It's interesting how,
like this is. I mean, like
you know, structurally, Black should be okay, but it just has its pieces on wrong squares or
Yeah.
something. You know, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, structurally, he's got the d6 pawn,
Right.
so that was kind of like what I was targeting the whole game.
Yeah, no, and it worked out perfectly. It's amazing how his position just kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
Can black play knight c5?
Okay, knight c5, I take d6, and then he can't take b3 because it was now an f6. So I mean,
So that
it's
worked
actually
out.
probably better
That-
than what happened because
That worked
after
out.
that, after f4, it was
Yeah. At least his knight has c5. That's funny that even if his king was on g7, knight c1, and the d6 pawn is just gone.
Well, I mean, like, because,
That looks
like, this is a move
yeah.
that relies on.
It just was kind of a puzzling position, puzzling game for me, because usually these things are sort of good for black, like in a way,
yeah. I thought
because
somehow maybe he had something, but
right, yeah. I mean, with the addition of, like, if there was, black bishops, or, I don't know.
I was,
just
yeah.
it was just,
I mean, with no dark square bishop, it's
yeah,
kind of hard for him to create.
yeah, I agree. And his inability to play d5.
Yeah, I was pretty much checking every move if he could play d5 or f5.
Right. So, like, d5 here, I guess you can
Yeah,
take,
d5
and
here,
then
I
knight
take
c2.
yeah, knight c2 and then reduce d5.
Yeah. So it's black's, yeah.
Yeah, here
I'm not sure that he
Well,
realized.
actually, no, maybe no, d5 will
Still rook takes on.
Maybe it's just a question of him not realizing the danger here.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a crucial moment here where he's got to.
I mean,
So-
maybe so, like, when we traded the queens,
We go to chess. Well, how do I? I can hit this and go to chess 24, right? Because we're actually
Because if I don't have the bishop, I just don't think this is.
we're actually live on chess 24,
And like this, and this wedge is gonna look so
and we
bad.
can look at your game. Stockfish can look at your game. So
I was pretty satisfied with the game. I thought it was pretty nice.
yeah, no, I mean it was smooth.
It was smooth, yeah.
It was definitely smooth.
Yeah.
The kind of game you like to be able to play.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit long, going late in the night, but it was a pretty nice game.
This is a really good.
So let's just go.
I don't think I have
You can just hit
They're
it.
just
Oh,
two
yeah,
threads
yeah.
that you have.
Go ahead. This.
You have to hit it first. Yeah, there we go.
I think I moved again.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got a lot of threats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're just like you guys are the youngest players playing, but you're playing the same thing that these old guys are playing. It's funny. We were just laughing about that. But actually,
Takes and
yeah, these are such difficult positions to play. I think, and that's one reason why they're attractive. So now
Yeah, I thought this was
this
bad.
is crucial
Yeah,
position.
this was crucial because I knew his idea with king h7 is obviously g6.
Right.
And I kind of let him do it because I know it's just not a good plan.
He should get his rook back and over.
Right,
probably.
which he ended up doing, but
Like, yeah.
and yeah, you played C4 and I'm
Although the knight on G, it's natural to want to get rid of that knight.
that makes sense.
And this was an interesting choice because I think I would have probably just played rook d1 and tried to play on the d file without
yeah,
playing
so I spent like
c4.
26 minutes here,
Yeah,
and,
this
and I
is-
kind of wanted. I don't know. I didn't want to play c4 because obviously my pawn on d4 stops the knight from coming to c5,
Right.
and like the e5, c5 entry points. But I kind of just didn't really find a good way to get the queen back in the game, and to also stop the rook a8 takes
Right.
d4 takes c4 idea.
It
So.
worked out. It was interesting. It was an interesting idea, and also you've got knight f5 as a possible something that always can be thought of. And this was
And I thought 95 here was no. You played. I think you played rook 95. Yeah, and then queen f4, knight g8. I thought it was weird. I don't know.
yeah. I mean the other. It looks like this knight should go to d7.
Well, but he
D6.
can't here because he needs to stay in defense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how he just got kind of pushed around, and
I think taking this pawn is better because kind of these two pawns are these pawns.
so do you want to see if there's some computer?
Well, so we see the valuation over there. So
Right, but I mean, scrolling down, and we can. How do we scroll down on this thing? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can actually show some more.
And then this way through, and I'm like, I'm totally
Yeah.
fine. I'm like, I might even
Yeah.
be doing well here.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, because I feel like this one's going to go off of that.
I felt comfortable.
yeah, I guess that was the move. That kind of.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't realize how bad it really was. So go forward.
Right.
Go forward.
Oh, go forward.
He probably didn't realize how bad Queen C5.
And yeah, this is another bad judgment call, sort of not realizing a critical moment. Judgment call on his part. This is, you don't want to play these.
Oh no, yeah, the computer missed stuff.
You don't want to play these palm down positions.
Yeah.
You've got total domination of the D file. It's just like
And look, it's equal material, but +2 for white.
Yeah,
So,
it's just
if I missed it. No, I pretty much had advantage throughout the whole
it
game.
was very smooth. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just him missing critical moments in the game, and not and then this. You're right, misevaluating this, which is just you're basically a pawn up, and you've won a pawn with this.
Right.
You know.
But also look at his knights and his rooks. It's
Domination.
dynamic.
All right.
Whoa, Patrick was able to draw that.
Looks like let's take a look at that. I think it's a close game.
This is actually pretty cool.
So I guess
They just agreed to it. I mean, if the rook leaves the second rank, I think this position probably is a good one. Because
But I thought there was some things he could do to push.
the other guy missed some. Yeah, he missed some stuff earlier on in the game.
Like somehow bring the rook.
I think this is already looking at a draw. But I think there were some points here. Well, I mean, look how active Black's king got.
Yeah,
that shouldn't have
that shouldn't
happened.
have happened.
You know, he should have. Yeah.
I guess Jason did foresee that after H4. I guess he didn't.
Oh, and there was one other thing we were looking at. Okay, so. What if White played Rook A1 here?
Rook A1 and then Rook A6.
The idea
And then Rook A3.
here is exactly kind of a bait.
And the idea is to play Knight C1 and Knight C3.
It's really crazy.
Then after we play Knight D1, I play Bishop D3 though, and then D2.
So from here, it takes what happened.
I liked what he did. I liked how he played H3. You know, just create no more back ranks.
Right.
And then Rook B4 is nice, but I guess no. Yeah, he won his pawn, but I don't know. Maybe even H4.
Maybe you should have played H4 instead of H3.
Or I mean, but like having this path for the king is just. I don't know. It's complicated.
Maybe White should play King G1, King F2, and King E3. And
I mean, maybe even here you can bring the king in.
Right, and not. Interesting. Yeah, I think Patrick might have dodged a bullet there.
Maybe. All right, I gotta go.
All right, thanks, Josiah.
Now I can get.
All right, folks, I think that concludes the first recorded TNM live analysis. I'm your host this week, Paul Whitehead. There's my good friend Bob Drain saying good night. How'd you do tonight, Bob?
Interesting draw, good draw.
Okay. I'm going to sign off, everybody. Good night.